Hi, my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. I'm planting out my early beans. It's really exciting because we absolutely love early French beans and runner beans, and we get them about 6 weeks earlier than you can get them when you plant them outside. So mine are going into, the climbing beans are going into this polytunnel, and the dwarf French beans are going into a low tunnel. I've been warming the ground in the low tunnel for quite a while. The soil in the polytunnel containers it's about 10 degrees, which is not too bad, but I'm also going to warm it up because I've brought with me a few gallons of hot tap water from home, and that just reduces the sort of transplant shock as I put them in. And because we're self-sufficient and we don't freeze very much, I haven't had any beans since maybe October time. And so I'm really looking forward to my first crop, and that's one of the real benefits of eating seasonally, is that you just, when you get fed up of things, you then have a nice duration where you're not missing them at all, and then get to spring and I'm absolutely really looking forward to it. And that's the case with everything. I'm really looking forward to that first taste of strawberries, really looking forward to those first mulched peas or those first baby carrots, etc, etc. So let's get on. So that's the container for the French beans, and these are the French beans. They've been in the car. Actually got a bit cold even in the car last night, but I think they'll be okay. So this container will come inside, and this is actually going to stay inside the polytunnel for quite a while. Eventually I'll move it down here and I'll let the beans grow up into this roof space a bit, so that the canes aren't too tall in this case. Things look pretty good. I've got 2 beans per stake, roughly. Not every single one germinated, unfortunately. And the reason I'm planting them now is mainly just because I've run out of space, and they're pretty tall now, so I've got to do something with them. I just noticed now that actually one of the cells, nothing germinated, which is kind of unusual. But I'll have to get one more sown. It's not too hard. Right, so there we go. Now, obviously, these would not survive even in this polytunnel without a little bit more protection, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that in a minute, but I'll just get them watered in. So the beans are in, and I've got to say they're not looking particularly healthy, but I'll sow another batch. I think when you're doing anything so early in the season, it's always worth having some stuff in reserve. And so anyway, as I said, they won't survive like that, so they need to go in a little tent. So let's build them a little tent. So I just use this bubble wrap. It's just ordinary bubble wrap. And just wrap it round. and I will tie it in with some string in a minute. But basically that's all that's needed, and then you just pull the middles in like that, put a clip on it, and that just keeps it. That's pretty good now, so not much more required really. By the time they outgrow this tent, it should be warm enough for them. So just a bit of string around the bottom is all that's needed, and that's just to keep the warmth in. Just like that. Hopefully I've got that below the handles. Yep. So there we go. French beans in their tent, and they should be quite happy in there. And if they're not, we'll always have spares. So that's how the tent works. And obviously you do need to leave some gaps because it gets pretty hot in there as well. So now we'll do the runner beans. And the runner beans have got bigger canes because they won't stay in here. They'll go outside in June time. So I've got more space in here for tomatoes, cucumbers and the like. So there we go. Now those didn't transplant quite so successfully because bean grown out of the two in the module, and that wasn't enough to hold the modules together, the soil together. So yeah, quite a lot of those sort of the soil block broke up as I was transplanting them, which isn't ideal really. But anyway, we'll see how they do. So next up are the dwarf French beans, and I've pre-watered the soil with warm water, so hopefully they won't get much of a shock when they're planted. So that's the beans in, and I would say normally I'm quite happy with what I've done on the allotment, but these beans look really sick. So anyway, we'll just have to see how they go. The beans are going to stay in that low tunnel. I'm going to prop it open a touch, and I'm going to fleece it at night as well, just to give them that little bit of extra protection. And I'm going to be closing the doors of the polytunnel at about 5 o'clock, and so it gives it a chance to warm up, because I am going to start moving some tender things into here over the next few weeks. So best get into practice looking after them. So hope you like this quick video, and fingers crossed they might actually get something out of it. But I would give it a 50-50 chance. I think maybe they were a week too early, planted out a week too early. So yeah, it's always pays to be patient in gardening, as they say, but then it also pays to take a risk sometimes when you want things really early. Just see how they go and learn from your mistakes. So let's see whether it's a mistake or not. See you soon.